Yes. It's this way. Good to see you again, sir. Yes, just this way. The meeting room is downstairs. Good to see you.
Excuse me.
Pardon.
Is this the central anarchist? Oh dear.
The gentlemen are downstairs, sir. They do talk and they do laugh at what they talk. They do say. They will throw bombs at the king.
Oh, yes, that's me. Thank you.
Roll call, Monday, yours truly, present. Tuesday,
Aye.
Wednesday,
Oui.
Thursday,
Oh, present.
Friday,
Present.
Saturday,
Present.
Mr. Sunday.
Gentlemen,
Mr. President.
gentlemen, our friend Tuesday doesn't seem to grasp that idea. He dresses like a gentleman, but he seems to be too great a soul to behave like one. Now, if a gentleman goes about London in a top hat and a frock coat, no one need know that he is an anarchist. But if a gentleman puts on a top hat and a frock coat and does not act the part, he may attract attention.
I'm not good at concealment. I'm not ashamed of the cause.
Yes, you are, my boy, and so is the cause of you. You hide as much as anybody, but you can't do it, you see. You're such an ass. You try to combine two inconsistent methods. When a householder finds a man under his bed, he will probably pause to note the circumstance. But if he finds a man under his bed in a top hat, you will agree with me, my dear Tuesday, that he is not likely ever to forget it. You were found under Admiral Biffin's bed.
I am not good at deception.
Right, my boy, right. You aren't good at anything.
Yes, quiet. Now we call the meeting to order. First order of business, anarchy.
Indeed! Bombs! Explosions! What ho!
Excuse me, Thursday.
Anarchy is the order of the day?
Quiet. In particular, how Wednesday is to strike against the French president.
I have often wondered whether we should not use a knife. Some of the best things have been brought up with a knife. And it would be a new emotion to get a knife in the French president and wheel it around.
You are wrong. The knife was merely the expression of an old personal quarrel with a personal tyrant. The bomb is not only our best symbol, but our greatest tool. It is as perfect a symbol of us as is the incense of the prayers of the Christians.
It expands. It only destroys because it broadens. Even so, thought only destroys because it broadens. A man's brain is a bomb. My brain feels like a bomb night and day. It must expand. It must expand. A man's man's brain must expand if it breaks up the universe.
I don't want the universe broken up just yet. I want to do a whole lot of beastly things before I die. I sort of won last night as I was in bed.
No, if the only end of the thing is nothing, it hardly seems worth doing.
Every man knows in his heart that nothing is worth doing.
We are wandering, however, from the point. The only question is how Wednesday is to strike the blow. I take it we should all agree on the original notion of a bomb. As to the actual arrangements, I suggest he go first of all to...
Before we discuss that, I have something very particular to say.
Mr. President.
Gentlemen, we have spun out this farce long enough. I have called you down here to tell you something so simple and shocking that even the waiters upstairs might hear some seriousness in my voice. Comrades, we were discussing plans and naming places. I propose, before saying anything else, that those plans and places should not be voted by this meeting. Not one word more about the plans and places must be said at this meeting. Not one tiny detail more about what we need to do must be mentioned in this company. You will probably understand that there is only one possible motive for forbidding free speech at this festival of freedom. Strangers overhearing us matters nothing. They assume that we are joking. But what would matter, even unto death, is this, that there should be one actually among us who is not of us, who knows our grave purpose, but does not share it.
It can't be.
Yes, there is a spy in this room. There is a traitor at this table. I will waste no more words. His name is Gold. Sit down. Well, my man, will you oblige me by putting your hand in your upper waistcoat pocket and showing me what you have there?
Not a bit.
I gather that you fully understand your position.
You bet.
Do you mind leaving your beard with your card?
Not with it was hot under there.
I will do you the justice to say that you seem to have kept pretty cool under it. Now listen to me. I like you. The consequence is that it would annoy me for just about 2.5 minutes if I heard that you had died in torments. Well, if you ever tell the police or any human soul about us, I shall have that 2.5 minutes of discomfort. On your discomfort I will not dwell. Good day, mind the step. Well, time is flying. I must go off at once.
Would it not be better to discuss further the details now that the spy has left us?
No, I think not.
I must protest, President, that the thing is irregular. It is a fundamental rule in our society that all things shall be debated in full council. I fully appreciate your forethought when in presence of an actual traitor.
Secretary, if you take your head home and boil it for a turnip, it might be useful. I can't say, but it might.
I really fail to understand.
That's it. That's where you fail right enough. You failed to understand. Why, you dancing donkey. You didn't want to be overheard by a spy, did you? How do you know you aren't overheard now? Leave it as it is. I must be off. Breakfast here next Sunday.
Meeting adjourned.
It seems that old corpse, the Professor de Worms, is following me. After the meeting, I strolled so casually, even letting feet could catch me. One comfort is, with a little brisk walking, I may put a man like that as far away as Timbuktu. Though, there is that line about the crooked man who ran a crooked mile. Yet surely Sunday would not be such a fool as to send a lame man to follow me. An evil shadow. What mockery is this? Catch me if you can!
I have a question for you, my good man.
You followed me through half of London to ask.
Are you a policeman?
Policeman? Whatever made you think policeman in connection with me?
The process was simple enough. I thought you looked like a policeman. I think so now.
But why must I be a policeman? Do let me be a postman.
No.
But perhaps I misunderstood the delicacies of your German philosophy. Perhaps policeman is a relative term. In an evolutionary sense, the ape fades so gradually into the policeman that I myself can never detect shape. The monkey is only the policeman that may be. Perhaps the maiden lady on Clapham Common is only the policeman that might have been. I don't mind being the policeman that might have been.
Are you in the police service?
I don't mind being anything German thought.
Are you a detective?
Your suggestion is ridiculous. Why not?
Did you hear me ask a plain question, you battering spy? Are you or are you not a police detective?
No.
You swear it. You swear it. If you swear it, Watson, will you be damned? Will you be sure that the devil dances at your funeral? Will you be sure that the nightmare sits on your grave? There really will be no mistake. You are an anarchist. You are a dynamiter. Above all, you are not in any sense a detective. You are not in the British police.
I am not in the British police.
That's a pity. Because
You are what?
I am a policeman. But if you think policeman only a relative term, of course I have nothing to do with you. I am in the British police service. But did you tell me you are not in the British police service? I can only say I met you in a dynamiters club. I suppose I ought to arrest you. What are you laughing at?
Oh, myself.
Then pull yourself together. Have a beer. Or don't.
You haven't yet drunk your milk.
My milk! You think I look at the beastly stuff when I'm out of the sight of the bloody anarchists. We're all Christians in this room, though perhaps not strict ones. Finish my milk! Great blazes, yes, I'll finish it right enough.
Why, you aren't an old man at all.
I'm not where I appear to be at the anarchist camp. As to whether I'm an old man or not, that's not for me to decide. I was 38 last birthday.
That's how you were able to follow me so fast after the council dismissed. That's a good get-up of yours. A lot better than old Goebel's. Even at the start, I thought he was a bit too hairy.
Difference of artistic theory. Goggle was an idealist. He made up the abstract or Platonic ideal of an anarchist. But I am a realist. I'm a portrait painter. But indeed to say I'm a portrait painter is an inadequate expression. I am a portrait.
I don't understand you.
I am a portrait. I am a portrait of the celebrated Professor de Vernes, who is, I believe, in Naples.
Do explain yourself.
With pleasure, if you don't mind hearing my story. I am by profession an actor. When I was on the stage, I mixed with all sorts of bohemian and blackguard company. Sometimes I touched the edge of the turf. Sometimes the riff-raff of the arts, and occasionally the political refugee. In some den of exiled dreamers, I was introduced to the great German nihilist Professor de Vernes. He, I understood, had proved that destructive principle in the universe was God. Hence, he insisted on the need for a furious and incessant energy, rendering all things in pieces. Energy, he said, was the all. He was lame, short-sighted, and partially paralytic. When I met him, I was in a frivolous mood. And I disliked him so much, I resolved to irritate him. I made myself up in what was meant a wild exaggeration of the professor's dirty old self. When I walked into a room full of his supporters, I expected to be received with a roar of laughter or a roar of indignation at the insult. But I cannot express the surprise I felt when my presence was greeted with a respectful silence, followed by a murmur of admiration. They thought I really was the great nihilist professor. The curse of the perfect artist had fallen upon me. I had been too subtle. I had been too true. Before I could fully recover, however, 2 or 3 of his supporters ran up to me, radiating indignation. It seems a public insult had been put upon me in the very next room. I inquired to its nature. It seems that a butler fellow dressed himself up as a preposterous parody of myself. In a flash of folly, because I drank more champagne than was good for me, I decided to see the situation through. Consequently, it was to meet the glare of the company and my own lifted eyebrows and freezing eyes that the real professor walked into the room. I need hardly say there was a collision. The real professor was thrown out, though not violence, though one man did try very patiently to pull off his nose.
I can understand you putting on his dirty old wig for a night's practical joke. But I don't understand you never taking it off again.
That is the rest of the story. When I left the company, followed by reverent applause, I hobbled down a back street, hoping to be soon enough away, be able to walk like a human being. As I turned the corner, however, I felt a touch on the shoulder, and turning, found myself in the presence of an enormous police officer. He told me I was wanted. I struck a sort of paralytic attitude and cried in a high German accent, "Yes, I am wanted by the oppressed of the world. You are arresting me on the charge of being the great German nihilist Professor de Vernes." "No," he said simply. "At least not exactly, sir. I am arresting you on the charge of not being the great German nihilist. This charge, if criminal at all, was certainly the lighter of the two. So I went along with the man, doubtful but not dismayed. I was shown into a number of rooms, and eventually into the presence of a police officer, who told me a great crusade had been opened up against the very centiers of anarchy, and that this, my successful masquerade, might be of considerable value to the public safety. He offered me a good salary and this little blue card. Though our conversation was short, he struck me as a man of very massive common sense and humor, though I cannot tell you much about him personally, because...
I know. Because you talked to him in a dark room.
Yes. Did you know that the man Gordon was one of us?
I? No. Didn't you?
I knew no more than the dead. I thought the president was talking about me, and I rattled in my boots.
I thought he was talking about me. I had my hand on my revolver all the time.
So had I. So had Gordon evidently.
Why, there were 3 of us there.
So?
3 out of 7 is a fighting number. If we had only known that we were 3.
If we had been 300, we still could have done nothing.
Not if we were 300 against 4.
No, not if we were 300 against Sunday.
Professor, are you afraid of this man?
Yes. So are you.
Yes. You are right. I am afraid of him. Therefore, I swear by God that I will seek out this man whom I fear until I find him and strike him on the mouth. If heaven were his throne and the earth his footstool, I swear that I would bring him down.
Why? How?
Because I am afraid of him. And no man should leave in the universe anything of which he is afraid.
Who would condescend to strike down the mere things he does not fear? Who would debase himself to be fearless, like a common prize fighter? Who would stoop to be fearless like a tree? So I say to you, strike upwards if you strike at the stars, for Sunday is a fixed star.
You shall see him a falling star.
How?
I am going to prevent this bomb being thrown in Paris.
You remember, of course, that when we broke up rather hurriedly, the whole matter was left in the private hands of the Marquis and Dr. Bourg. The Marquis is by now probably crossing the Channel. And as to where he will go and what he will do, it is doubtful whether even the President knows. Certainly we don't know. The only man who does know is Dr. Bourg.
Damn it! And we don't know where he is.
Yes, I know where he is myself. Come on, we'll take you there.
And when we get there, what then?
You and I are going to try something far more dangerous than trying to steal the crown jewels out of the tower. We are going to try to steal a secret from a very sharp, very strong, and very wicked man. I believe there is no man, except the President, of course, who is so seriously wicked as that grinning fellow in goggles. Have you seen his horrible virility and vitality? He bounces like an India rubber ball.
Will you join me? Will you take the risk?
Young man, I am surprised to think that you think I am a coward. And as to that, I will only say one word, and it shall be entirely to the merit of your philosophical rhetoric. You think it is possible to pull down the President. I know it is impossible, and yet I am going to try. Let us go.